Hi all and welcome back. So in today's movement session we're going to focus more on lower body with some added spinal and shoulder work. We're also going to move away from our classic example of other movement sessions where we did one set of movements, then another, then finishing. We're actually this is going to resemble more classic training structure where we're going to have some warm-up, some intro breathing, relaxation, prepping, and then we're going to go into our heavy work. And each set is going to have one heavy exercise, other heavy exercise, another heavy exercise, 3 to 4 pretty heavy exercises, after which you're going to relax and you're going to rest. We're going to rest together, focusing on the breath, making sure you're moving your phone, any extra distractions away, and just listening to my voice or listening to the music and focusing on the breath in between each set or superset. Okay, so no equipment required. Ideally you want to be barefoot. We are going to do some pivoting on the feet, so if you want to use socks you can, although just be mindful, especially as we go again in the horse stance, so wider squat, you have some control, you don't accidentally do side splits. Okay, so let us begin. Okay, so before we start with our physical work, we're going to begin again with setting some baseline. So noticing the quality of our breath, noticing any levels of tension, perhaps even discomfort or pain in certain areas. And it's always a great opportunity to see how we feel on this specific day before you dig into more heavier physical work. Okay, so you're going to find yourself standing upright, feet comfortably apart, knees soft, arms relaxed. And you're just going to allow yourself to close your eyes. I'm just going to mention one main tip, which is going to be, think about for 6 reps, you're going to do deep long inhalation in through your nose, and then long exhalations through your mouth, through your nose, whichever you prefer. And also think about melting any excessive tension or simply becoming lighter with each exhale. So prepare. Let us begin. Allow yourself to gently open your eyes. You're going to move on straight away. So make slightly wider with your feet, keeping your knees slightly more bent, having stable axis, stable base of support. Just going to start with gentle rotations to begin with. Keeping your arms relaxed, arms simply reacting. The next one, you're going to go even wider with your feet. Make sure to really bend your knees, especially as we're starting to travel more. So keeping your feet grounded, hands on your pelvis. So feet grounded and starting with big rotations. Focusing primarily on doing this from your hips. Obviously your knees are also going to do some work, your spine as well. So stick to one direction for now. So the next one, while you're staying in this stance, you're going to go slightly deeper with your hips. You're going to place your hands on the top of your knees and just think about gently pushing one shoulder towards one side, going in this slowly stretch, and then switch. And keep switching as you wish, slowly. Bringing your feet closer together, you're going to focus on the knees. So going slightly wider with your feet, slightly closer, placing your hands on the top of your knees, and think about first going in one direction and then going back from the another direction, keeping the axis, keeping the weight on the ball of your feet. So only go as much as you're comfortable, but gradually try to go a bit deeper. Don't rush. Our next one is going to involve a little bit more dynamic motion, having the swinging leg, a little bit more relaxed, supporting leg engaged to keep the balance, simultaneously keeping the upper body relaxed. If you struggle with the balance, you can hold on to something, or it's a really great challenge and great drill also to keep your arms free. So think about one leg swinging, just getting rid of the tension, keeping it nice and relaxed. And come to the stop. We're going to do one last drill before we move on to our main work, which is going to be this. Against a little bit of single leg balance, changing the intention now. I'm doing 180 pivots. What that means is, first of all, easy variation. So one leg is up, staying closer to the floor. From the front, you're going to the side. Simultaneously, as you're going to the side, you're counterbalancing with your torso, going with this hip hinge. Don't arch too much. That is bad, but that's what we're looking for. Transition forward. And again. So you're going to do 5 reps each side. Obviously, if you're more comfortable with this, you're going to go higher with that pivoting leg. Notice my torso, how I'm simultaneously lowering down, going in this lovely hip hinge. Motion is primarily from my hips. I would really recommend to bend the knee of this supporting leg. Don't try to keep it super straight. It's going to be quite hard. We don't want it hard just yet. 5 reps each leg. Let's give it a go. Okay, so hope you feel a little bit warmer by now. So now we're going into our main superset of exercises. And the first exercise is actually going to be a collection of 3 other exercises. So we're going to have a very simple pattern of reaching separation between the arms. So on a couple of other sessions we did this almost like, I would call it imaginary accordion, where you're really visualizing having your hands connected by some sort of invisible force and you're creating some tension. And that tension is going to be either up and down, depending on the side where you go. You're going to go more in the diagonal, so one up, one down towards one of the legs. And it's also going to be more horizontal as you're going more sideways in this external rotation of the shoulders. So these are arm motions, motions of the feet, and here it's really be mindful of positioning your feet properly. So making sure you go wide enough so you have enough space to move. As you're gonna have first move is gonna be horse stance. So one slow horse stance, one Cossack squat going as far as you can towards the other side. Don't leave the heel, keep this foot on the floor. I love this variation, but today we're going to focus on keeping the foot on the floor. And then from here, you're moving as you push up, you're moving towards this opposite side into this deep split squat. So one more time, leg motions. So horse stance, Cossack, slowly transition into split squat. Arm motion connected with this is going to be this. So going up, separate, here, transition, here. Changing direction, up, down and to the side, change direction, sideways. Okay? Let's aim to do I'm gonna say 3 to 5 reps each side. So 3 to 5 reps of each exercise to each direction. Don't rush. If you can do 5, great. If you can do slightly slower, great. If you can only do 2 or 3, that's fine. And only work within any range you have. So if, for example, your Cossack squat is this, that's fine, okay? Work with any range you have. After we finish with this, you can stay standing. You can go on the floor. For example, I'm going to use this meditation cushion. Sit in the comfortable position. And we're going to go back to our 6 inhalation with long exhalation. And that should feel relaxing, so try not to tense too much. So really focus on maximum relaxation within those 6 breaths. So that inhalation, exhalation, each rep should be approximately up to 10 seconds. So you almost have like a minute of rest in between, okay? So let us begin. Prepare. Let's go. Let us move on. So before we go back to the first drill, we're gonna focus on another drill where we're also gonna include our lower body, slightly different pattern, and we're also gonna include the leg going behind. And this one is also gonna be one side, then other side, one side, then other side, depending on your flexibility. It really varies how deep you're gonna go. So think about dragon squat, think about leg behind, curtsy, or dragon step, whatever you want to call it. So the pattern is, as my right leg is going behind my left one, I'm going to go on the ball of my feet. I'm going to try to go with my right elbow as close as I can to the floor as I'm counterbalancing with this other arm going upwards, okay? Going back, switching, don't go too far, and see how low can you go with this one. Reaching, same elbow to the floor. Nice, and keep switching. So again, we're gonna do 5 reps per side. Take your time. Prepare. Let's go. Gonna go back to your resting position. Again, 6 breaths. Either standing, kneeling, sitting, maybe even lying. Just make sure you don't fall asleep. 6 inhalations, 6 exhalations. Let's go. Moving on. So you're probably noticing pattern now. For now, I'm talking a little bit more as I'm demonstrating the exercise. When we're gonna do another round of each exercise, we're just gonna do exercise straight away. You know what to do when you see me going into resting, not inhaling, exhaling for 6 times, then another exercise and so on, okay? So we have 4 exercises total. So we had, that was 2 exercises. Exercise number 3, it's gonna be, again, a little bit heavier on the knees, but we're also gonna include a little bit of spinal flexion and extension. So you're gonna have to, it requires a little bit of balance because you're gonna have to lift your heels and be on the ball of your feet. So the first step, as you're gonna keep switching direction, is head leading down. So I'm rolling down into forward fold. As I'm going fairly low, I can sweep my hands over the floor, lifting my heels and sort of leaning gently back. Okay, almost arching. And then from that arch position, I'm now leading down, leading with my knees, keeping my hips open, up to where you feel comfortable. Then you're gonna fold, hips up, reverse, going up. And again, head leads, rounding, lifting the heels, going up, and then reversing, knees first, rolling, hips up, spine up. So let's do 6 reps of these. Prepare, so one drill going down and then reversing, that's 1 rep. So almost 2 exercises is 1 rep. So prepare, 6 of those, hope it's clear. And let's go. Resting, 6 inhalations and exhalations. And our last exercise in this superset, which is going to be more upper body focused before we move all the way to the beginning and do one more round of each, is going to be this. It's going to include a little bit of shoulder, sort of prehab work, nice mobility activations for external rotation, internal rotation, reaching, overhead position, and then pulling. And the sequence is going to be this. Think about keeping your elbows fairly close to your torso to begin with, lifting your hands, fists going back. So really squeezing my shoulders, pausing for a second, then lifting my elbows until they're in 90-degree position. And then from here, keeping my elbows in the 90-degree position, going with my arms as far as I can back with my fists into external rotation, squeezing my elbows from here towards my torso, reaching up, and then facing palms of your hands towards you as you squeeze your shoulder blades and your elbows back in this position. And then relax. And again. So elbows here, fists out, elbows up, fists up, elbows down towards the torso, reaching up, and then palms of your hands towards you as you reach with your elbows back. And relax again. So from here, you can just drop down, placing your elbows again in the position and continue. Okay? So we're gonna try to do six reps of this. So prepare. Bring in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So this is the sequence. This is a superset of 4 exercises. So first exercise, combination of horse stance or goddess pose, Cossack side to side squat, and split squat. We're doing 5 reps each. After that, we're going to do our side to side elbow to the floor. Okay, after that we're doing leaning, going down, reversing, and then reaching down, going again with your knees down. And the last one, again, we're gonna do this sequence with the shoulders. But let's do this, rather than doing, so I'll give you a combination. So I might do the same thing as I just did earlier. So resting in between each. If you're short on time, you can do every single exercise without resting, and then rest in between. Okay, so I'm going to do for today's session only 2 sets of these 4 exercises. You can also do 3 and then having longer periods of rest in between, or you can do it exactly the way I did. I really liked and enjoyed the way I did with longer rest in between. Even if some exercises were a bit easier than the others, it really allows you to kind of get into the zone and be more mindful of the movements. But again, you have options in case you want to do the session at some other point if you're short on time and if you want a bit more challenge. Okay, so prepare for the first one and let's crack on. Side to side, elbow top to the floor. 5 reps each. Moving on to our third exercise, which is going to be more narrow squat, rolling of the spine, and then the arching as you're leading with your knees as well, okay? We're going to do 6 reps total. Leading with the head first. Rest. And our last exercise, which is going to be arm sequence or shoulder sequence, 6 reps each. Of shake, approximately for 60 seconds, keeping it very sort of relaxed. 2 options, either bouncing with your heels off the floor, kind of more ankle heavy, or bouncing with your heels on the floor and bouncing from your knees. The main intention is ripple effect needs to travel upwards and everything above is relaxed. As you also focusing, either closing your eyes, keeping your eyes open, on long inhalation and long exhalations. Prepare, ready, and let's go. So just like that, we finished. This session really, although when I look at the time of the recordings, it's fairly kind of on the longer side, but it really kind of went quickly. So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the dynamic of sort of heavy tension work, really deep hip stretches and contractions, with some also downtime in between, which I think is very nice kind of contrast, focusing on the breath. And just remember, all these my suggestions of times and rep schemes, that all, it's just a suggestion. If you want to do less or more, be free to, or if you want to do more inhalations and exhalations, be free to do so. So just listen to your body. This is just an invitation, as always, for you to be curious and explore even more with setting some baseline. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. At some point, if you also noticed, I did 6 reps in between 5. It's simply because I lost the track, because I was so immersed in the movement, so forgive me for that. So yeah, as I mentioned, you have a couple of options, either doing these 4 exercises in a superset, let's say 2 to 3 supersets. So doing, in that case, you would do first exercise and then without resting, second, third, and then fourth, and then longer duration, let's say 2 minutes. Think about maybe 10 inhalations and exhalations, and then another superset, and then a rest, and then another superset. Or you can simply keep it as we did, because it, after that first fairly intense drill, it was kind of easier to kind of tempo decreases, intensity decreases. So I hope all that makes sense. So really hope you enjoyed this. So today it was a little bit heavier, but I think it's really helpful doing that contrast and being mindful, staying mindful with the movement. I think it's very useful in this day and age when everyone's just rushing everywhere. Do your workout in 15 minutes or less. So allowing yourself a little bit more time, also for downtime in between tension, is very helpful. Anyway, I'm talking way too much as always. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, share, comment, send feedback. You can always support the channel on the link that I'm going to put underneath the video. So thank you again, and enjoy the rest of the day, evening, and see you soon.